Hi there, Reham. Nice to see that you've written your first set of essays for us. Great job. Let's take a look at what you wrote. The first essay is about schools and whether they should entertain or whether they should only educate. Let's see what you said. An often debated topic is whether schools' fundamental aim, here should be an apostrophe, should be educational or allocation of greater space, or if allocation of greater space for enjoyable and interesting activities ought to be made. Personally, I side with the latter view, since schools' recreation activities can enhance the academic performance of students and introduce valuable skills and qualities. Lovely. To begin with, the educational purpose in schools contributes to the mental development of students, yet extracurricular activities are of an equal, if not greater, importance. There is ample evidence to consider that an enjoyable school environment can boost pupils'. Here you want an S apostrophe because you mean more than one pupil, not just one pupil. Pupils' academic achievements. For example, Finnish schools, which are ranked high according to the Education Index, adopt the concept of learning through playing and autonomy. This often catalyzes a remarkable success in basic cognition abilities such as literacy and numeracy, as well as advanced subjects such as natural resources. Sorry, you didn't say that. Natural sciences. Okay, lovely. Now, don't forget to wrap it up with a conclusive statement here, okay? To add to this, sports competitions in schools could introduce favorable personal skills to the student. Imagination, creativity, and ability to compete fairly are all indispensable life skills to own early in schools. Recent studies by Yale University show that regular participation in school sports competitions increases students' again, it should be S apostrophe because you mean more than one student's ability. So, increases students' apostrophe adaptability and success in tertiary education. In stark contrast, if pupils receive the merely traditional form of theoretical education, their personal qualities and social skills would be impaired considerably. To conclude, don't forget your am here, I am totally convinced that schools should consider the implementation of interesting teaching methods and recreational activities for their students. By doing so, not only would a refined academic performance be secured, but also advantageous skills and qualities would be taught. Okay, so here, even though it's not exactly in the beginning of the sentence, this linker here, it's almost as if it is at the beginning of the sentence. Therefore, this has to be followed by inversion. So not only would, make it look like a question. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is well done. The grammar is really very well controlled, so you've done an excellent job in that regard. No problems there, really. Just some little silly things with punctuation, like with apostrophes, and I think there was one sentence where you forgot to capitalize the first word of the next sentence. Other than that, it was really quite good. Like here, you used a nice advanced grammatical phenomenon. You used a conditional. Elsewhere, you tried to use inversion. It wasn't a successful attempt, but I'm at least glad you tried. So that's very good as well. If you're not sure how to use inversion, then definitely look it up and see how you can adopt this and put it in your essays more accurately. So it's well developed. The only thing you didn't put in here was that conclusive statement in each paragraph where you kind of summarize it and link it back to the first sentence of your introduction. This does kind of round out the paragraph, all right? Other than that, I'm really quite happy with it. Yeah, so for your first attempt, it's really quite good, okay? Let's take a look at your second essay. Okay, and here it is. This is the one about doing an enjoyable activity with a child. So let's see what you said here. Reading has undeniable benefits in terms of a child's development. You keep doing this. If you're going to refer to just one child, then you need to put the appropriate article. So it should be a child's development, or in terms of children's development. Yet, it is argued that children's participation in interesting and exciting activities can be more advantageous than reading, you forgot the word, for their overall welfare. Personally, I completely stand for the latter view, not the later view. This essay discusses examples of using games, consoles, and sports competitions to demonstrate points and support arguments. Okay. One of the main reasons why I believe active playing with children is a healthier habit than reading. Get rid of this to adopt. I see what you want to say. You wanted to say, one of the main reasons why I believe active playing with children is a healthier habit to adopt than reading is because it refines their cognitive abilities. There is ample evidence to consider that playing with game consoles can develop skills such as spatial awareness, concentration, and imagination in children. For example, research, it's singular because it's uncountable, from Yale University indicates that pupils who played PlayStation video games regularly passed UC math tests more easily, not easier, than other students. Therefore, it can be seen that playing interesting games can raise the child's mental capabilities more than mere reading. Another point to consider is that the engagement of children in active competitions could be beneficial to their physical well-being. This is because it enhances their fitness and sharpens their neuromuscular coordination. For instance, according to the Egyptian Sports Council, 80% of the football national team players received early childhood physical training. In stark contrast, if physical activities were neglected during adolescence, it would be more challenging for youths to succeed in sports competitions. All right, that's nice. To conclude, I totally agree that playing actively has a superior and fundamental role in developing children's mental and physical abilities. Let's try that again. To conclude, I totally agree that playing actively has a superior and more fundamental role in developing children's mental abilities than reading. It is hoped that parents and educational entities will allocate greater space for such activities for the best of future and aged generations. Okay. I felt like this had a few more problems than the previous one did in certain respects. But the thing to me that is really the most, well, first of all, let me say this. I mean, the grammar again was very nice. The vocabulary was very nice. Yeah, there were a couple of problems, but that's fine. I mean, even at a higher level essay, you're allowed to have a couple of grammar mistakes. What I want to talk about here, though, and what's really important, is the prompt itself. So you're supposed to talk about the enjoyable activity that develops better skills and more creativity. So looking through your paragraphs again, you talked about cognitive abilities, okay, and you showed that they pass math tests because of PlayStation or whatever. And then here you talked about physical training and physical well-being and so forth. All right, so you've got two different skills that you've covered here, but you're missing something. It doesn't just say skills, it says and more creativity. And there's nothing about that, unfortunately. And so this is going to create a real problem for you in terms of your task achievement score. You have to cover all parts of the task. And if you look at the band descriptors, you'll see that that's really clearly laid out. So not just better skills, but also creativity. So you could have spent a paragraph talking about better skills and then a separate paragraph talking about creativity. That's one way you could have done this. Certainly there are other ways as well. All right? So for your first essays, they're really rather good. So good job there. Just in the future, I want you to look more closely at the prompt to be absolutely certain you understand what they're asking you to cover. All right, so let's talk about what the next steps are for you here. The first step is for you to correct these essays based on my suggestions. Then the second thing for you to do is to create an error correction list. That's where you will write down all the mistakes that were pointed out to you, and next to each mistake, write what the corrected version will be. This is a list you're going to add to with each essay correction you get back. And then, of course, the third thing you'll need to do is write us a new set of essays. Try to do this in the next 24 hours or so you can really apply everything you've been learning. Alrighty, so go ahead and get that started, and let's meet back here with your next set of essays. I'm looking forward to it. Good luck.